Welcome, friends. Welcome. Welcome to the 10th hour of Open Your Hearts and Wallets for Blood and Cancer, a 12-hour fundraiser. I am Andrea Sanchez, your live stream host for the next hour. And my connection to cancer is I've been lucky enough not to have cancer myself, at least so far, but I have had a few friends and family that have gone through the journey. Most recently, I've had a friend who had a little girl about the same age as my little girl, 8 years old, 2 years ago, was diagnosed with leukemia. She did an amazing and beautiful job documenting step by step of her journey, of her child's journey on Facebook. It broke my heart, but it also showed me that, wow, there is still light despite what everyone may be going through, what someone may be going through. There's always strength, and strength that we had. I can't even imagine if my little girl had gone through that. But I cried every tear along with that mom and my friends. I'm here today also to learn more about cancer. I can say that I have had the sad opportunity to be in the shoes of friends and witness what they were going through and family members, but I never really knew what else I could do. I felt so helpless. So I want to learn more about it. I want to be more of an ally. I want to help spread awareness more in this fight. So we're no longer afraid of this, but we are able to face it and fight it and thrive within it. With that, I am so honored and grateful to be associated with this fundraiser and with this event. When Tim's son asked me to be able to be a part of this, I immediately said yes. Anything related to Tim's son is absolutely a yes. He is an inspiration. He is a fighter. He is a thriver. And his story is one that is just as powerful as well. If you don't know Tim's son, please, I invite you to follow him and his amazing work. In fact, Tim's son is a candidate for the Man of the Year for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society program, which is one of the reasons we are doing this today. So this event began early this morning and will run until 8 p.m. Eastern today. If you would like to donate during the event while we are speaking with our two guests, you can do so by going to the link that I will be sharing in below, and also in the comments, I will be sharing the link. You can also donate by check. You can make it out to LLS and mail it to Tim's son. I will include all this information during this hour. Again, we are here to educate. We are here to raise awareness, and we are here to inspire and empower others that they are not alone. They are not alone, that we are here to support each other and beat this. Over these 12 hours, there were live stream shows going on with cancer survivors and supporters sharing their stories. There were musicians and entertainers performing, all for this great cause. We have a few more hours left after this show, and I invite you to tune in, and also for the finale, which goes on in a couple of hours. So why did Tim's son decide to become a candidate for Man of the Year? Well, it was because he was diagnosed with chronic leukemia 15 years ago. He started sharing his cancer journey in June on Jenny Gold's show. Shout out to Jenny Gold. And many places since then. He found out in December that he's cancer-free, launched the Showing Up Perspectives on Cancer show with Kara Oakler. Big shout out to Kara. This started a few months ago, where this show that it was his brainchild, and this is where he started inviting cancer survivors and supporters to share their stories, connect, and support each other. He has a fire in him now more than ever. Just by speaking with him, you can tell. And he's here to help cancer survivors and supporters. So that's why we're all here today. In his words, we're here to show up, to change lives. Tim is now cancer-free, but that could change in a heartbeat. And many are not cancer-free and are struggling right now as we speak. Each person's story is different. Each person is impacted in a different way, as Tim has discovered on this Showing Up show. The mission of LLS is to cure leukemia, lymphoma, Hodgkin's disease, and melanoma, and improves the quality of life of patients and their families. Many LLS supports therapies not only help blood cancer patients, but are also now used to treat patients with rare forms of stomach and skin cancers, are in clinical trials for patients with lung, brain, breast, pancreatic, and prostate cancers. LLL's funded drugs like targeted therapies and immunotherapies are now saving thousands of lives every day. Your donation can help speed this up. Today, I am delighted to have a conversation with my two guests. I would like to welcome Kristin Parks, and I would like to welcome Marina Fakiris.
Hi.
Hello, Kristin. Hello, Marina.
Hi.
So, Kristin and Marina, I'm so happy to have you here. We're so glad you are part of this great effort. And I know you both have very wonderful, powerful, and inspirational stories and backgrounds. Let's start with the backgrounds. First, Kristin, where are you located? Where are you calling from? And tell us a little bit about you.
Sure. I am really happy to be here today. Very nice to meet you, Marina. I am joining from Allentown, Pennsylvania. And a little bit about myself. I work for UKG, which is Ultimate Kronos Group, as an executive relationship manager. I see some of my friends from UKG are joining. So, hey guys, how's it going? I am married. We have 2 cats, and my backstory as far as cancer is concerned is I am a breast cancer and an acute myeloid leukemia survivor. It's been 12 years since my breast cancer diagnosis and 10 years since my leukemia diagnosis, and I am currently cancer-free.
That's wonderful, Kristin. Congratulations on that. That's quite a journey. And then we have Marina.
Hi, I'm in here in New York. I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. When I was diagnosed, it had already metastasized to my lymph nodes in my lung, and I am almost cancer-free. So the cancer is significantly has shrunk since then.
That's great news, Marina, and we are here to continue to support you in the journey. And first of all, for those that are not that have friends or have loved ones that have been in the positions where they are either cancer free right now or going through the journey, what is the best way that they could be there for others? What have you found is the best thing that they have done for you?
For me, I think it was so important, especially early on, to have people reach out to me on a regular basis. Sometimes I know speaking for myself, sometimes it's hard to ask for help. So it was really helpful for me to have people do things like prepare some meals for my husband and myself, drop off books or movies. Of course, this was 10 or 12 years ago. You don't have to drop off DVDs anymore, do you? But just be there and to not be afraid that you're going to say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing. The most important thing I think for anybody who's going through that is to know that they have the love and the care of those people that are most important to them.
Yes, I completely agree with that, Kristin. I found that people have been saying that to me as well. How about you, Marina?
The same thing. I think people. I have a hard time asking for help. I can't recall how in my life have ever asked people for help, but having people call and check up on me is was very important, and being understanding, because I'm not a type of person to complain if I'm in pain, or if I just can't get out of bed or whatever it is. I don't like to complain. So it's just no judgment, just love, and when you want your body to heal, I think one of the components that helps you heal is feeling love and support around you.
I couldn't have said it better, Marina. That's absolutely true. And speaking of asking for help, you brought up a very crucial topic that can really, really help in the whole journey and in the healing, I imagine. What are your tips for people out there that are the same? They're not used to asking for help, but how were you able to get past that?
For me, to be quite honest, I haven't gotten past that. I mean, it takes a lot for me to pick up the phone and, and say, just hi, like if I need help. I'm not, I guess I'm not built that way. I don't know. I still struggle with asking for help.
How about you, Kristin? What has worked? What are some advice that you would give others that are in that position?
Well, I think it's important to know that when you're going through something like cancer, or any serious illness or injury, oftentimes we feel like we don't want to complain. We don't want to be a burden. We don't want to bum people out, So I think for me, it took somebody kind of not just asking me what they could do to help, but saying, I would like to bring you a meal, or I would, love to just sit and visit with you. How can I help you? And once I kind of got past that, oh, okay, people really do want to help me. It's not a sign of weakness. It's not, if people don't want to help, they won't help. And I think something else that I learned a lot through this journey is you do learn who will be there for you. And I can say that I was really pleasantly surprised that there were a lot of people, more people were there for me than I thought would be. So whatever it is that you feel like you just don't have the energy to do, maybe it's do some laundry, or maybe just come and hang out for a little while and keep me company. Sometimes starting with something easy like that, where you don't really feel like you're asking somebody to do anything for you. You're just saying, hey, do you want to come over and watch TV? Or, maybe we can sit out at the park for a little bit, get some fresh air. It's not always about somebody actually doing something. It's just about somebody being there and spending time with you and providing that support, even if it's just sitting with you and not really doing anything else. It's still really helpful.
That is huge what you just shared, because things that we may think or take for granted that are not big things may end up being the things that you remember the most that people do. Like it's just as simple as you said, it's just sitting down and just being with you. That speaks volumes. That is so true. And speaking of your stories, let's start with Kristin. Kristin, how had cancer?
You cut out just for a hot second there. I didn't hear you.
Oh, sorry. How and when did you find out you had cancer?
Well, with the breast cancer, it was in 2010, and I had actually felt a lump in my underarm. It wasn't the traditional of finding a lump in my breast. So I had gone to the doctor, and I was 42 at the time, and I am embarrassed to say I had not had my first mammogram yet. You're supposed to have your first mammogram at 40. Ladies, have your first mammogram at 40. And I went to the doctor. My doctor sent me immediately for a mammogram, and that's when they saw that there was a malignancy in my breast, and I had stage 3B breast cancer, which had spread to my lymph node, one of my lymph nodes on my underarm. So I had a combination. I had chemotherapy, I had surgery, a lumpectomy, and then I had radiation. And my treatment wrapped up in late 2011. And in March of 2012, my husband and I were on vacation in the Dominican Republic, and I wasn't feeling well. really tired, couldn't catch my breath. And it was getting worse and worse. So we went to see the doctor at the resort, and he sent me to the hospital in Punta Cana to have blood work. And when the blood work came back, it was obvious that there was something very, very wrong. And I had a feeling when I saw my blood work results from my previous experience, that it was some kind of blood disorder, probably leukemia. And my oncologist confirmed those fears. So I came home as soon as I could. I did have to get a platelet transfusion before I could fly home. In the Dominican Republic, it took a few days to get the platelets, because had I gotten on the airplane with my platelet count being so low, there was a chance I could have hemorrhaged because of the altitude. So finally got home, began treatment here in the Lehigh Valley at St. Luke's University Health Network, and went through several rounds of chemotherapy again, went into remission. And as I mentioned previously, I've been in remission for 12 years, and I am remission from leukemia for 10 years, and I am cancer-free.
Wow. That's quite a journey, Kristin. And you, I'm sure there were good days and bad days. What is in a roller coaster of emotions, what is probably one of the things that kept you going through it all, that, yes, I am going to get through this?
My stubbornness. I am not one to back down from a fight. And, when I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2010, I knew that my chances were pretty good, because we did catch it before it had spread to other parts of my body. It was contained to just that one little lymph node in my underarm. I'd gone through chemotherapy. It sucked. My hair fell out. I got really sick. So when I got diagnosed the second time, it was just this defiance. I was like, yeah, okay. You want to come at me again, cancer? All right, cool. I know what you're going to do to me. I know my hair is going to fall out. I know I'm going to be sick. But for my situation and the type of leukemia that I had, that was the best course of action for me. And I have to say that as difficult as it was to deal with those two types of cancer and everything that goes along with it, I made friends during my journey that I never would have met if I didn't have cancer. I have found strength that I didn't know that I have, and a gratitude for life that I think those of us who have dealt with this type of diagnosis it's one of those blessings in disguise. I mean, if I could wish anything for anybody, it would be to have the appreciation for your life and everything that it brings. And it doesn't take a cancer diagnosis to be there. That's really what, that's what continues to drive me today, and continues, that's why I got involved in LLS as a volunteer, is because I wanted to give back, and I felt that I owed it to people who were not as fortunate as I was, who did not, didn't make it through their cancer diagnosis. So it's just, it's stubbornness and defiance, and not willing to, as a good friend said to me before, cancer is a word, not a sentence.
That's powerful. I completely agree. In the live stream right before mine, with Mark Lee was the host of the 9th hour, and he was interviewing Amanda Ebi, and she said something that I could actually, it was really stood out to me, was, until you're actually in it, you don't really understand. And that goes for so many situations. But like, what is something, based on what until you're actually in it, you don't really understand. What is something that you feel until you were actually in the situation, you really didn't understand? You just took it for granted, or you didn't realize. What is that in your journey?
The crushing fatigue that I experienced was like nothing I experienced before. And I'm the type of person that when I'm sick, I just want to push through it. You know, like I don't have time to be sick. I've got things to do. This type of fatigue that I experience, it's not something you can push through. So what I learned through this is to listen to my body, and I don't do that to myself anymore. I don't push myself to the point of exhaustion at work or in any other situation, because it's not kind to ourselves to do that to ourselves, and I don't want to take the good health that I have now for granted. So I think listening to my body, not putting things off if something seems off or wrong, to take care of it. But on the flip side, also not to live in fear, because that is always, I think, many cancer survivors, we worry about a relapse. We worry about it coming back. So having that healthy balance of not living in fear of the cancer coming back, but also taking care of ourselves, taking care of our bodies, and doing everything that I can to stay healthy and to be kind to myself.
That's great. That's some great learnings, Kristin. And I was taking notes because you're absolutely right. I can't even imagine the crushing fatigue. I've heard about it, and I've been there through friends that have gone through it. And I can imagine how debilitating that must be. You mentioned now, you listen to your body, and you don't push yourself to that point of exhaustion. Do you believe exhaustion and a life filled with just overwhelming stress increases the chances of people either getting cancer possibly, or maybe illnesses in general, but also I imagine effects in the healing process, correct?
Yes. I mean, I did a lot of reading when I was going through my treatments. I didn't have a lot of other stuff to do, so I had lots of time to read. And there's been studies that have said that stress can lead to a lot of serious illnesses, and cancer is among them. I have no way of knowing whether or not my own stress level may have contributed to my diagnosis. However, I do know that carrying a lot of stress is unhealthy, period. And there was a time in my life when as I mentioned, I worked, I have a very satisfying career, but I was one of those people that would work a lot of long hours and burn the midnight oil and try to, get it all done. And the fact of the matter is I'm never going to get it all done. So I have to remind myself that at the end of the day, it's not going to matter whether or not I worked that extra 10 hours this week, or I overextended myself trying to do way too many things for way too many people. I have to, this body is the only body I'm going to have. So I have to take care of it as much as possible. And that includes knowing when to say no, knowing when to take a break and step back.
Well said, Kristin. I truly believe, as cliche as it sounds, and I always say this, everything happens for a reason. And the people showing up today, listening to you speak, and soon Marina, are meant to be here, including myself. I really need to hear what you just shared because I'm the type of person that never stops. So you're right. The body we have is the only body we have, and we need to not take it for granted so much. We're almost at my goodness, the halfway mark. And I wanted to, for those that are joining in right now or have joined in a little later, I want to welcome you all to the 10th hour of Open Your Hearts and Wallets for Blood Cancers, a 12-hour fundraiser for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. The brainchild of this wonderful event is Tim's son, our champion of this whole thing. Tim's son is a candidate of the Man of the Year. And if you don't follow him, I please encourage you to do so. He is an inspiration and the reason that I'm able to be here with you all today. I am, one other thing that I want to share, and we're going to go to our next guest, is this is my first official time hosting on my own LinkedIn live stream. I've done LinkedIn live streams before and helped out, but never through my own account. And I've been waiting forever for the special moment to kick it off. And I couldn't have waited or think of a better way than this. So thank you, Tim Sun. Thank you, Kristin. And thank you, Marina, for this opportunity. I feel blessed. With that said, if there are some little boo-boos along the way, it is my first time doing it all by myself. But I did figure out the rolling banner and the ticker, so this is going pretty good, I think. So let's take a look really quickly at some of these comments. We have Tim here. Tim's son is here. Hello, Tim. We have Ligia. Hi, Ligia. Glad to see you here. And then we have Bill. Yes, he's talking about asking and accepting help. He could relate. It's a difficult place to go through, to be in. We have so many other people joining in as well. So I appreciate your comments and glad you could be here today. So now we will go to real quickly transition over to Marina, and then we'll come back to you, Kristin. Okay. Marina, it's so lovely to have you as well. And Marina was sharing that she is Greek, and I have a special love in my heart for all who are Greek because I spent a lot of my time in my career working for a Greek school. Shout out to Annunciation Orthodox School if you're out there. So Marina, the same thing about I'm going to ask you. Tell us a little bit about your journey, and I know your journey is continuing, but you're getting ahead stronger. And so, when did you find out about your cancer diagnosis, and when was it?
I found out in 2018, towards the end. I think that I believe that I'm a very blessed person because the way I found out is an elderly woman crashed into me. My car was stopped. I was bumper to bumper traffic, and I literally put my car in park in order to get something from the glove compartment because we weren't going anywhere. And she confused her gas pedal for her brake. So she hit me so hard that my car went underneath the car that was in front of me, and her hood of her car was touching her windshield. My muffler was on the floor. It was just a mess. So I had to go to the emergency room because I was in horrendous amount of pain. And I was very concerned because I had a previous spinal injury when I fell off my horse. So, make a long story short, they did an MRI, X-ray, and they mentioned my thyroid, and I went to my yearly checkup at my gynecologist. Granted, I was in a lot of pain, but when you've had a spinal injury in the past, you just learn to deal with the pain. She told me, I need you to go do a biopsy, and I didn't understand. She said, "Listen, if it's cancer, the possibility of it being cancer is only 5%. So it's probably nothing. But as your physician, you have to go." So I postponed it for several months before going because she told me it's only a 5% chance. How can that be me? So I went, and long and behold, the biopsy came out that it was cancer. And then took my slides to approximately 5 different doctors because I was determined for a doctor to tell me it wasn't cancer. So finally, I ended up at a Memorial Sloan Kettering, and he wanted to perform surgery. But I was my circumstances. I couldn't do it. Firstly, I didn't have any family member. Sorry, to be there with me. Um, so I decided to do it homeopathically, and been an amazing journey. Um, I've met a lot of amazing people. Um, I believe that I apologize.
No.
If I didn't have stress in my life, I believe I'd be cancer free today. But unfortunately, I do. Um, but in this process, I've met people that have no relation to me that have been extremely kind and generous, and that's why I feel very blessed. Um, and a matter of fact, in order to show my appreciation and how blessed I am, I started a nonprofit organization that will be giving out medical water machines specifically to the elderly, and eventually will expand to other people. The reason why I chose the elderly is because Americans make up only 5% of the population, and yet we consume two-thirds of the pharmaceuticals that are out there. And the side effects that occur from all these pharmaceuticals that we are consuming, the majority of us don't even know what the side effects are. And I think that the elderly are the most overlooked population. I took care of my grandparents, and I witnessed it for myself. And hopefully it'll go well. But I want to give back what I've received, and this is my way. So in my homeopathic journey, I've been eating, bitter almonds, consuming iodine, and taking a fistful of different herbs and whatnot. I go to my sonograms and my scans at Memorial Sloan Kettering, and we just make sure that everything's under control. And my last visit to my doctor, the cancer that was in my lymph nodes, the majority of it has shrunk, and in some areas it's no longer there. So I'm pretty proud of myself because I don't want to be without a thyroid. I never realized how important it was until they told me they had to cut it out. So
Wow.
I'm a fighter. I don't like to go down easy.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. And Marina, you are truly a fighter, and I'm so proud of you because you've been through a lot. And the fact that you also decided, no, this is not going to get to me. This is not going to get in my way. And you also decided that if this route isn't going to work, you want the homeopathic route. And just by doing that, and I know you were sharing with me yesterday, just the type of things that really made a difference. Share with the audience some of the things that really helped speed up your journey.
Well, one is bitter almonds, and yes, I know you can find them on Amazon, but they're not the real thing. I've had friends purchase them; they're not the same. It's a scam. Um, Being from Greece, my friends bring me bitter almonds back from Greece. I eat 8 of them every single day. I do 3 droplets of iodine in my water every other day, chlorophyll, and it's a long list of different herbs. But I believe the main components that have helped me is the iodine because it supports your thyroid, your kidneys, and your liver. And B17, which is inside the bitter almond, and apricot seeds do have it as well, but it's not as potent. Um, have been proven to kill cancer cells. They actually help them shrink. And also, I have a medical water machine that thankfully my health insurance paid for. It's a machine from Japan, and approximately 9 years ago, prior to me being diagnosed, my father passed away, and I woke up with a cyst on the side of my neck, the size of a golf ball. And I've had this since I was a little girl. Whenever I would get really upset, I would get a cyst anywhere from my head all the way down to
Oh
my
my
knees.
goodness.
Like a cyst would appear, but I would have to be under a lot of stress for it to occur. So the night before my father's funeral, I woke up and I had a cyst the size of a golf ball. So no I decided to take care of it after my diagnosis of cancer. And when I went to a dermatologist to have it drained or removed, it's hard. Um, they wouldn't take it out because I wasn't cancer free. God forbid, they don't want to touch it because then, you potentially get a lawsuit, right? You helped her cancer spread. So I met this woman, which I assumed was a very pushy salesperson, had this machine, whatever. She let me borrow it, begged me for 2 months to take it home. I did. And very kind woman, she said to me, listen, you either, give it back to me when you're cancer free or when you buy your own. And so I took it home, and all of a sudden this thing that was on the side of my neck has now become maybe a quarter of the size of it. It's still there, but it's just started shrinking. I didn't introduce anything else different to my body. So through the process, I also learned that here in America, most of us are really dehydrated, and hydration is very important for our health. So, and that's why I opened up my nonprofit in order to help the elderly, because every medication you take causes dehydration. So, and my grandparents wouldn't drink water even if you begged them. I would like, have a glass of water. Why? Did I go to the field? Did I go picking tomatoes or something? I've been sitting here watching TV all day. I'm not thirsty. So, but whatever. And that's it. Basically, those are the three components that I believe have really helped. But I do a lot of herbs like turmeric tea with ginger and all that stuff. I even tried for 4 months. I did the Budwick diet. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Mm-mm.
The Budwick diet is organic cottage cheese with flaxseed oil, and it's 3 parts cottage cheese. It has to be organic, and half of that in flaxseed oil, and you blend it at the moment that you want to eat it. It's been around since the 1960s.
Oh, wow.
So I tried that for a while, but it was too much work for me, to be honest. So I stopped. I had to go to work and whatnot. But
How did you learn about all this? Is it also like what Kristin was saying? She did a lot of research. Is that what you did as well?
actually, no. I did do research, but most of this information I learned it through people that have been doing this.
Okay.
One individual that helped me out tremendously. His father actually had pancreatic cancer, and the doctors said we have to immediately operate. And he said, "No, Dad, can you give me a couple, of months or whatever?" The father trusted him, and he actually helped his father become cancer free from pancreatic cancer, and he did it homeopathically. And the man today is 96 years old.
Oh my
And if
goodness.
you meet him,
That's amazing.
he's in his 70s.
That's amazing.
I've met a lot of people that have done this and healed, and trying to be positive is very important. So behind me is actually my picture of my friend on wrong way. I can't point it. The picture behind me. That's my friend Ruby. She passed away 3 years ago from breast cancer,
I'm sorry.
and my father also died of cancer. And
Um,
the strength that I saw these individuals show with the tremendous amount of pain that they were in, because you would even take a feather on their hand and it would be painful for them.
oh
My
my
friend
gosh.
Ruby, before she passed away, the evening before, she told me, I had to help her move from her bed to her chair. She said to me, I have to do my exercises first, Marina. So she started like, flexing her arms and swinging about, and I couldn't believe it. Never complained. And same goes for my dad. And, all cancers are serious. Thankfully, thyroid cancer, there's several types of thyroid cancer. There is a thyroid cancer that after your diagnosis, it's actually fatal. Um, Thankfully, the one I have is slow moving. Um, but these individuals that I love dearly taught me that, life's a journey, and you're here. So live, just keep on fighting. There's just because somebody says, you got cancer or whatever, doesn't mean you go in bed and just hide under the covers. You have to keep on going. Life's a gift, and you have to cherish the gift that was given to you.
That's right. That's absolutely right. And regardless, I mean, we each of us, regardless of what we're battling or fighting on the inside or outside, tomorrow is not guaranteed. So we need to truly live and enjoy the present moment. And I'm blessed to be again with you both here today. Marina, I want to ask you the same question that I asked Kristin. Is the quote from the 9th Hour show with Mark Lee for this live stream broadcast is his guest, Amanda Abe's mentioned, until you're actually in it, you don't really understand. How do you relate to that quote? What is something that really opened up your eyes by being in the journey?
I think my journey has made me more humble. Um, I, um, I, I, I see that life a lot differently. I, uh, I used to care about materialistic things, obtaining them and striving to collect things. But life has taught me that things are not going to give you a hug when you're frightened, or tell you a kind word
Yes.
when you're feeling down. So amassing many things is really just for the outside world. So it's what's within and what you give to others that really counts. And that's my lesson that I've learned. We're all God's children, and whatever you have extra of doesn't have to be money. You have to give, because we have to feed our pockets in order to survive, because money's a tool, but we also have to feed our souls. And feeding our souls means, being there for one another.
Wow. Wow.
Amen, Marina.
I know. I mean, I was looking for the like button. So, wow. Things cannot give you hugs. Absolutely. Absolutely. That really puts it into perspective right there. Wow. Before we move on, I cannot believe how time is flying. I would want to, for those welcoming in or coming in a little later today, or those joining in later in the replay, welcome to the 10th hour of Open Your Hearts and Wallets for Blood Cancers. This is a 12-hour fundraiser for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. The brainchild of this whole effort is Mr. Tim Sun, who I believe is still there in the comments. Thank you, Tim. And if you don't follow Tim's son, please, please, please follow him. He is a true inspiration and the reason that I am here doing my first live stream ever. I am so honored to have this as my first live stream, and better yet, with two amazing guests, Marina and Kristin. So I want to remind people that this is a fundraiser, and every dollar counts. And we've been speaking about just facts and educating you all about the cancer journey, but also our goal is to inspire and empower. You are not alone, whether you're going through the journey yourself, or you've had family members that have gone through it, are going through it, have friends. We are all in this together to not only educate, but also to show you we are not alone. And every dollar that you can give counts. You can donate by going to the link, which is scrolling at the bottom of this video. And I believe Tim has put it in the comments as well. Please, 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 anything you can do to help to raise awareness, we greatly, greatly appreciate it. So Marina and Kristin, you both hinted and spoke about how this whole journey just has made you aware of a strength that you didn't know you had. And what inspires me is that you didn't let this get to you. This didn't let you stop this, despite those days where you thought, why me? Like, we all go through this. Why is this going through me? I'm not going to let this down. You went through it and you chose to do something to give back to others. And Marina, you mentioned a nonprofit, and Kristin, I know you're very, very involved, and you've been involved particularly with the Leukemia Lymphoma Society, even been a candidate for Woman of the Year and twice. And I'd love to hear about your efforts there.
Sure. So I was very blessed that when I was first diagnosed with leukemia, our local chapter here in the Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania, had an effort to get for patient education. So I initially received a lot of information directly from the Leukemia Lymphoma Society, hand delivered to me in the hospital, explaining, what blood cancers are, what leukemia is, what the treatment options are, even helping me network to get in touch with other women who were breast cancer and leukemia survivors. Marina, you were talking about the side effects of medication. It is probable, although not definite, that I got leukemia from one of the chemotherapies that I got for breast cancer. And one of the things that drives me in being an advocate and sharing my story and helping LLS is we have to do better for cancer treatments. We have to find better treatments that aren't going to cause all of these other problems down the road. For me in my situation, and I did use some homeopathic complementary things, which helped me tremendously. But we have to do better at finding treatments that are not as harsh and as detrimental to our health down the road. And particularly when you're looking at a disease like leukemia, the 5-year survival rate is around 25%. So right off the bat, I am extremely lucky. And I'm going to say lucky because I don't know why I have been blessed to still be here. I have lost friends to this disease, to this specific subtype, who were much younger than I, who had children, who had, lives to live. And as I mentioned before, I feel like it's my obligation to help organizations like the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society to fund the cure. Like you said, Marina, money isn't everything, but money's a tool. And that's why, I'm really happy to be here. I'm supporting Tim in his campaign, but this is not just helping people with blood cancer, but other types of cancer as well. There's a lot of treatments that have been funded, or research that was funded by the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society that has been able to find cures for a variety of different cancers. 20 years ago, we didn't talk about cancer being a survivable disease, a disease that you can live with. And that's where we are today. So it's really important to understand where your money's going. LLS is a very good organization, and it's just so vital for us to understand that it can be a devastating disease. It is a devastating disease, but more and more people are living with cancer and beating it every single day. And it's because of organizations like Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. And people like Marina, who have shared their story and started her own nonprofit to help other people. It's what keeps me going.
Well said, Kristin. And people like you, may I add. Must not leave yourself out. Again, it's you've done a lot as well, and your words are full of heart. And let me say, you were Man and Woman of the Year candidate, and then you were an all-star candidate the following year, which means for those that are not aware of the competition, or what is that about?
So it's a 10-week competition, and it is done regionally. So I did the Lehigh Valley region. Tim, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Northeast Pennsylvania and Lehigh Valley have joined. Maybe we're one region now, I'm not sure, but it's a 10-week competition, and the man and the woman who raise the most money over that 10-week period get the title of Man of the Year and Woman of the Year. And it is a crazy, exhausting, exhilarating thing to do. A lot of people told me that I was crazy for doing it twice. However, it really, the cause really just means that much to me. So, folks like Tim, doing this live stream. I know I hosted some events. I had a wine tasting event. I had my husband's in a band, so when I was a candidate in 2015, we did a fundraiser with his band and another band playing, and raise money that way. But at the end of the day, the thing that makes the most impact are the individual donations, the $5 donations, the $50 donations, the $500 donations. If you can afford to go to Starbucks every day, you can afford to click on that little link right there and donate to Tim, because your money goes a long way. Tim's actually chatting out some of the things that your donations can go for. Patient education, which is something that I personally benefited from, the research that LLS does. LLS will also go to Congress and talk to our representatives about funding that is needed for cancer treatment and cancer research. So my hat's off to anybody who decides to undertake this Man and Woman of the Year journey. And I'm just really blessed to be able to help out again this year by supporting Tim.
Yes. Wow. What a wonderful testimony there for Tim's son. And yes, please check out the comments below. As Tim mentions, with $25, you can provide patients and their loved ones with free booklets that contain up-to-date information. $50 makes possible a family support group with a trained facilitator. This is all in the comments. Thank you, Tim, for all this information. 150 provides a patient with leukemia, lymphoma, and myeloma financial aid to support medical treatment. So, oh my goodness, so many good and anything that you can donate. The link is below. Thank you so much, Kristin. Please continue to do what you do, be an inspiration to not only us and others, and for those that are going through the journey as well. Let's bring Marina into the spotlight. So Marina, a nonprofit, tell us about it more.
I literally just opened it on the 19th. So 19th is a very significant date for me. It was my birthday, but it's also the day that I was my father's funeral. So the foundation is named after my father.
Oh.
After my father's passing, I always knew my father was very generous. But after his passing, a lot of people approached me where my father was doing a lot of anonymous good deeds. And so it inspired me to create a nonprofit in his honor in order to continue his legacy of generosity to others. So I'm starting off with purchasing a medical water device for the elderly. So the way it works, I purchase the machine, I go install it, and all they have to do is give me, after 30 days, just give me their testimony of how it's changed their lives. And hopefully, as the nonprofit expands, I intend to, start focusing on other areas. I didn't want to make it very broad, because then if it's too broad, it really loses its the point. There would be no substance. I'll give a little bit here, a little bit there. So I wanted to do this. Hopefully this year give out 100 machines, and from then be able to expand to something else, perhaps children. But being that, I was taking care of my grandparents. I've gone to an old folks home. We had considered putting my grandparents in there just for the summer, and seeing the way these people are treated. I witnessed the health aide. I don't think she was even a nurse, giving sedatives to all the elderly people in addition to their medication, which was very upsetting to me. And we've all heard horror stories about people being in homes and being mistreated. So I wanted to focus on the most overlooked, population, which is the elderly, and they have arthritis and they have dementia, and they're going through things, and if you're going through it alone, it's nice to have,
That's right. That's
so
right.
focusing on them for now.
That's beautiful. That's amazing. Where can people find more information on your nonprofit?
Currently, it's only on Facebook.
Okay.
It, I don't know. My father's name is a little Greek. It's Pantelis K. Fakiris, same last name as me. Foundation. I just opened up a GoFundMe page as well, so you can find it there. We're just trying to gather up funds in order to launch. So hopefully by next month we'll be completely ready to go.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And Kristin, how can people get a hold of you and everything that you're doing?
I'm on both Facebook and on LinkedIn, Kristin Cransley Parks. And if you want to support LLS, donate to Tim.
Yes, definitely. So I cannot believe our hour is just about up. We have 3 minutes until the 11th hour of this 12-hour live stream. The next live streamer is my good friend Dorothy Odell, and I hope everyone can join in her live stream. I put her information at the bottom. I think I accidentally had put that at the very beginning of the show too, but hey, let's promote Dorothy all the way because I accidentally, this is my first live stream. So I am learning. So this has been a pleasure, a true pleasure to be able to speak with you both. Tim, thank you so much for the opportunity. Dorothy, I can't wait to hear your live stream coming up. And those of you that joined in late, please, 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 you still have time to donate to the LLS. Make a donation. Check out the comments on how your donations, no matter what the amount is, can really benefit and support those going through this journey and aid in the future. Any closing words, Marina or Kristin?
I just want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to be on here, and it was a pleasure meeting you all.
Thank you. Likewise, Marina, it was lovely to meet you. Andrea, you did an awesome job. Never would have known it was your first podcast. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my story and a little bit of my experience and my hope.
I thank you so much. And I really am sincerely inspired by both of you. And we are lucky to have you in this world. Please continue on being you and fighting and thriving the way that you are doing. As we bow out to the next hour, something that I have learned for the next time I do a live stream is to pay more attention to the comments and show them some love. So I want to sincerely thank Tim Sun, Ligia Hernandez, Senor Pasada, Jim Ryan, oh my gosh, Bill Tomoff, so many great comments. I invite you both to look at the replay if you haven't and check out all the beautiful words that they have mentioned about you. Mark Lee, so many wonderful people that tuned in. So thank you so much, Marina, Kristin. I hope this is the last time we get to speak. But and everyone else, thank you for your support today. And I invite you to continue with this journey, with this marathon, to help make a difference with our friend Dorothy Odell next in her live stream. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Have a good weekend.